This is EJ Hanks, and this is my project proposal for Anim 3027, and this project title is Transformation. I intend to create my own transforming character and transformation sequence,
focusing on pre-production.
It will be inspired by the Mahou shoujo or magical girl genre of Japanese animation, and I intend to explore how this trope has developed from Japanese animation into Western media. The transformation trope has increasingly been seen in Western animation aimed at young girls, and I intend to make this my demographic, exploring what this trope represents and how it can affect its audience, and deciding how I want to represent these ideas in my project. I'll be focusing on the pre-production of this project, generating and developing designs for a character, and then designs for their transformed alter ego, as well as creating a transformation storyboard. I will develop designs and world building, considering possible angles for a wider narrative that this sequence could be a part of. Here are some examples of a transformation sequence seen in Japanese animation. We've got Sailor Moon at the top, Ojamajo Doremi in the middle, and Tokyo Mew Mew at the bottom. The magical girl transformation sequence typically features a young girl magically changing apparel into an alter ego to fight evil or right a wrong. These sequences are often hyper-feminine, focusing on hair and apparel, and often catering excessively to the male gaze. Sailor Moon 1995 is regarded as one of the most iconic magical girl transformations, borrowing the more masculine elements of crime fighting, superheroes, and marrying this with ultra femininity. Later examples of the trope I plan to reference in my research are Ojamajo Doremi 1999 and Tokyo Mew Mew 2002. Here we can see examples of transformation in Western media. She-Ra, the Princess of Power, Barbie movies from the 2000s to the 2010s, the rebooted She-Ra, and the more recent tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and also Bee and Puppycat, the online series, and Frozen 2, the recent animated Disney film. Transformations have increasingly been used in Western animation aimed at young girls. One of the first examples was She-Ra, Princess of Power in 1985, taking inspiration from its brother show He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Transformations were also routinely used in the climax of many 2000s Barbie movies to show a character's development and their claiming of their identity, such as Barbie and the Nutcracker 2001 and Barbie and the Diamond Castle 2008. More recently, cartoons such as the rebooted She-Ra and the Princesses of Power 2018 and Miraculous: The Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir 2015 use transformations that draw heavily from anime. Shows such as Bee and Puppycat use the trope to subvert audience expectations of what a magical girl behaves like. Disney's Frozen 2 in 2019 used magical transformation to mark its main character's growth in the movie, changing her outward appearance to reflect this in a way that I feel harks back to these classic Barbie movies. Western media such as Miraculous Ladybug draws from anime like Sailor Moon by having an empowered crime-fighting superhero who finds strength in femininity, whereas media like Frozen 2 in 2019 and Barbie movies 2000 to 2012 explore transformation in a way more akin to Magical Princess Minky Momo in 1982, the anime, with the transformation being a visual representation of a character's growth. These are the two pre-established formulas these transformation sequences take, and I intend to draw from both for this project while maintaining and developing my own artistic voice. I plan on exploring the tropes and archetypes of this genre, making a work that's recognisable but not typical. I intend to explore this through a queer and feminist lens, and also explore performative gender and the connotations therein. This is like an avenue to develop this project into something more non-typical and relevant to my own experiences and what I want to show in my art. Using dance as a reference for the movement of this animation will be beneficial to me, as it will aid me in capturing fluid and aesthetically pleasing motion. Many of the most pleasing transformations draw heavily from dance. The nature of dance is expressive, fluid, and appealing, and all elements that I want to capture in the transformation sequence. Here is an example, very quickly, that I've mocked up of a possible transformation device, just looking at the way that the device can move and interact in a like faux 3D environment. Deficiencies and problems I may run into. As I didn't do a pre-production module, there's only 12 weeks to complete this project, so I've decided to focus on development and pre-production. I will give myself a reasonable amount of work to create development art that could feature in my portfolio as an example of my abilities in character design and storyboarding, as well as some rough animation. From my experience in year 2, I'm aware that making a finalised animation less than a minute long as one person is quite an unreasonable undertaking if I have really high aims visually. So it will probably not yield the result that I aim for. So because I'm also completing this project independently, I intend to focus on pre-production, because this will allow me to develop ideas to their full fruition and create work that I will be happy to add to my portfolio, potentially giving me the basis to pitch an idea to an animation studio in the future. Here's some designs, very initial, that I have that I will develop further. And the 2 character designs will be one human character and then their transformed alter ego. The 2 designs must be congruent with each other so that they're able to transform into the other, and they've got to inform the viewer of the character's self-image. I want to use classical ways of presenting different aspects of a personality through design. Exploring different character designs will be interesting and fundamental part of what the story can be about. Transforming as a technique is often used to depict a authentic or more powerful version of oneself. Costuming and hair is going to play a large role in this, because both in the East and West, hair and costumes are seen as typically feminine things, and this technique is often associated with female protagonists and female audiences. So I want to use these to their full potential and perhaps subvert them in some ways to make a more engaging narrative. Objectives. I will produce and fine-tune a range of designs for a character and their alter ego, building on my research of magical girls. The designs must inform the audience visually about the character and be created to inhabit a faux 3D world. This will also involve world building and a consideration of what a possible story with these characters could be. So the final designs will include a character before their transformation, a character after their transformation, a transformation device such as a compact or a wand as seen in most animes, and a weapon. I will then produce and develop storyboards for the transformation sequence, considering the history of this trope and putting my own artistic flair and vision onto it. Using the storyboards, I will then create an animatic of the transformation and an animatic of the weapon sequence. The final products here will be the storyboarded transformation sequence, the storyboarded weapon final attack sequence, and the animatic. This is my schedule that I will be following, with week 2 to 4 being developing designs for the character and their alter ego. Week 5 will be generating designs for the weapon. Week 6 will be generating designs for a transformation device. And then during progress week, I will complete any work that I feel needs to be developed further. Week 7 will be thumbnailing visuals for the storyboards. On week 8, I will be storyboarding the transformation and the attack of the weapon. And then week 9, 10, and 11, I will be creating the animatic. And I have allotted any extra time if I need it to complete any work. And then week 12 finally will be the hand in the deadline for this module. I'm excited to do this project, and I think there's a lot I can say with it, and a lot that can relate to my own experience and my own life in ways that things in this genre usually don't. So I'm very excited to complete it. Thank you for listening to the project proposal.